Hi friends, Simit here from InformedTrades.com. In this video, I want to give a quick review of Forexmentor's Fund Trader Academy, a trading room, signal service, educational service for scalpers in the Forex market, provided or led by Ben Nathan, a Forex day trader. So let's get started. Okay, so the key points. One is the system has a winning track record over the past year. So this system, Ben Nathan is the trader behind it. He's instructing, in addition to teaching you how the system works, they're sharing the trades they're placing and sharing their track record as well. It's got a winning track record over the past 2 years. We'll take a closer look at that winning track record, but I think is one pretty significant point that stuck out to me. Teaches a system with a live trading room and Forex signal. So basically, when you get the service, there are some educational videos to teach you the mechanics of the system, how to actually execute the trades, the strategy behind it. And then there's a trading room each day where you get to log in with Ben Nathan, the trader behind it, watch him place trades, watch his take on the market, and sort of interact with him in real time. You'll also get email alerts on the Forex signals as they're placing trades. In order to really take advantage of this, the signals in the trading room usually come between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. GMT. So that was one point that really didn't help me too much, and if you're in America, this might be a similar issue to you. That's in the middle of the night in the U.S. for most of the U.S., so it's something to consider if you're in London or in parts of Australia, and if it's flexible with your day, that definitely works well. So something to consider there. Personally, I found the system a little bit confusing. I wish there was more text. All the explanations were video-oriented, so if you learn by video, this is great for you. I ended up looking up certain concepts online. It wasn't terribly complicated, but I did think I would have benefited or would have appreciated if it was explained more in text. There was some more material, maybe it was organized differently. Also, as an American, Ben has an accent that I think is from Australia, although maybe it's from London. I have difficulty differentiating, but maybe that also played a part. Maybe there's a little bit of a culture barrier or language barrier possibly there as well. And also the service in terms of its cost is $150 per month. That's the normal price. I got a discount where it was $100 for the first month and then $50 for each additional month. I have links to that below. I don't know if those links will still be available, but that was sort of the price I paid, and we'll take a closer look at how that works out with the signals and see what it really costs. So that's sort of an overview of the service. Now, the track record, which I think is pretty significant, I really do appreciate that they're sharing the results. A lot of educational services don't, which I think is kind of, it's nice to see the transparency with them sharing their results. Now, this is 2 years results. Now, they don't use a trade verification service like MyFXBook or Trade Explorer on Forex Factory, so it'd be nice if they did that, but maybe they don't. They find that to be a little too invasive or sharing too much information. I sort of understand that. They might not want to give away their proprietary methods. I do think the results are honest, so I do think this reporting here, which is from them, is honest. I don't think they're fabricating the numbers. My take, and also they are giving out the signals in real time. So you can see when he puts on a trade, usually between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. GMT, you'll get an email alert, and you can sort of see the trade and place it yourself. And I think based on watching that for a couple months, I think these results are honest. I think he's being honest with his results. You'll see this very low drawdown here. 2014, this is the first 9 months, 22.27% return. If you annualize that without compounding, you get to a little over 29% for the year, so it's pretty solid. 2013 was much better, a pretty amazing year, almost 74%, 73.92. You can see that here. What's even more impressive in the results was very small drawdown. So in 2014, 0.73%, and in 2013, just 1.09% drawdown. So they have some really good risk management rules. They're not risking more than 0.3% per trade, and the average reward risk is 2.2 to 1. Risk management and a focus on that, to me, that's the first sign of whether a person is a real trader, professional trader. If they really have their risk management under control, they pay a lot of attention to that, then I give them credibility. I think Ben Nathan, in that regard, is pretty legit. So that's sort of a look at their track record. Now, the next step is sort of a profitability analysis, and the idea here is, what's your starting balance? Looking at your starting balance of a trading account, the monthly cost of it, what kind of returns you got if you followed every signal, and what would be your net return, which is sort of your gross return minus the monthly cost. So the idea here is, can you actually make money just following the signals? Forget about the educational stuff. Could you, if you just bought the service and traded the signals that you were given, would you make money? And under what conditions would you make money? So did a little bit of a what-if analysis, scenario analysis here. $5,000, I don't think this service is really for you if you have less than $5,000 to open an account with. You might find it interesting. It might be for you if you're willing to do it for a purely educational perspective. And I think there's some value and possibly some merit to that, like I discussed earlier. But in terms of getting an actual profitable return from just the signals, I think $5,000 is the bare minimum that you should really start with. And then $5,000, if the system generates 25%, and we're on pace to outperform that. In 2013, we did outperform that, or the service did outperform that. In 2014, it's sort of on pace based on the first 9 months. That would be the bare minimum to get into the positive, really. You have to expect 25% returns, and that's also $100 a month at that rate, if you can get that rate. If you can only get the $150, then you'll need a higher return. So at $10,000, it gets to be much more positive. Then $10,000 starting balance, $150 a month if you're paying full price. At 25%, which we've seen the service is on pace to do annualized. It did far outperform that last year. You can get 7% return. And of course, if the service does really well, if you got $5,000, you're only paying $100. I think it's 70%, which it did more than last year. You're looking at 46% annual return. So that's pretty solid. And if you have $10,000, you're paying $100 a month. The numbers highlighted in yellow are sort of the break-even amounts, or as close to break-even. What's the bare minimum the service has to do for you to make your money back just from the signals? I like to do this with signal services just to get an idea of whether the signals themselves are worth it. With most signal services, you're getting a signal component and an education component. If the signals can make all your money back, I think that's great. Then it's like getting a free education almost. Of course, the true challenge is in learning the system, applying it, and having dedication to log on every day and go through it with your instructor. Whatever service you use, if any, if you don't have that discipline, it's going to be difficult to succeed. Okay, now let's take a closer look at what you actually get in the actual process when you subscribe. Okay, so what you're basically seeing now is what you see when you're a subscriber and you log in. Here's the Forexmentor live trading room, and you see a bunch of URLs at the top. This is all getting started, obviously a good place to go to get started. As we discussed, there are 2 courses here, and the first one you want to go through here is, and this is just basic information about trading, things that every trader, regardless of the exact methodology, should know. Deals a lot with psychology, right? Psychology as well as risk management, the two are sort of closely related. So go through these videos first, and a lot of it, especially if you're a little bit experienced, may already be familiar to you. Like I mentioned, though, regardless of this, you'll still need to know coming in basic things like how to place an order, what a pip is. So this is really more about a framework for how to think. It's not really dealing with the mechanics of trading. It's really much more psychology oriented. And then here is the live method, which actually gets into the details of their trading system, the technical analysis, how to put on a trade, what to look for. And here you can see there's 6 videos. You can see there's 8 minutes in length, 5 minutes in length, the shortest one. We have tutorial 3. It's almost 12 minutes in length. So it's about an hour overall, maybe a little more, for these videos. Live Trading Classroom is also the really interesting part. After you've watched those videos, the next thing is to go to the classroom, and that's where you're really going to see. This is 8 AM GMT, right? So you want to calculate, where you are based in the world for that to work. So there's when you enter the room, you can go to the room here, and just to illustrate what that's like, let's say test. Okay, you can see they're using Adobe Connect. And I found this, I didn't have to install anything. So I think that'll be the case for most people. I don't know if that's going to be the case for everyone. So you get a few prompts like this. Close this. There's a lot of functionality here. Here you get a daily briefing, right? PDF document, just sort of a 1-page overview each day in the markets. As well as, and here's sort of a summary of the trading activity. The trade setup. There's a trading chat, there's a live news feed, and if you're here at 8 a.m. GMT, you're actually going to be able to, there's a video component you can sort of see Ben talking about the market, placing the trades, sort of things like that. And that's sort of it. We'll get to the trading reviews, or the actual alerts, the actual trading alerts that clients get out into your email as well. Okay, and now for a sample email. This is sort of a trade alert, sent out each day when the trade is placed. So you're going to get this around 8 o'clock GMT, sometimes a little bit later. This is probably like 10:15 GMT. Trade alert that goes out. Most of the ones I've seen come at like 8:30 GMT, or between 8 and 9 GMT. It's usually just a little bit of text with a link to a chart. You go there and you can sort of see the trade. See where they're long at, see what the spread is, and if you know their method, you sort of understand where to put the stops and where to look for a target profit. A lot, like I mentioned, this method sort of requires looking at the market. Once a trade is placed, you're going to be watching that trade for the next 20 minutes probably. And based on how price behaves, you're going to move your stop, you're going to take profit, close it out, things like that. So this trading method is for active traders and is designed that once you place it, you're watching the market. It's not a set and forget. You won't get the stop and limit when you place the order, but if you follow the method, you'll know where to put the stop and where to adjust things as the trade unfolds. So you really do need to focus for the next 20 minutes sort of on the trade. And that about sums up our video review. We have much more information as well as a detailed write-up over on informedtrades.com. If you have any questions or want to learn more, check that out. Best of luck in your trading, and we'll see you soon.